After a 2,000-mile flight and a sleepless 9-hour layover, we finally touched down in Cabo San Lucas, Mexico, early Saturday morning. The airport is about 30 minutes driving from downtown. If you don't book your own ride ahead of time, there are plenty of taxi cabs who will gladly give you a ride from the airport. We arrive at the dive shop early, well before anyone else. After stepping inside, we take care of the check-in process and complete the necessary paperwork. With a few hours to spare, we decide to make the most of our time by taking a leisurely walk around town. The marina buzzes with activity at all hours, alive with bars, restaurants, water activity operators, souvenir shops, and even vendors peddling counterfeit Cuban cigars. After a long trip, breakfast feels like a perfect idea. As I sit down to order, a group of musicians approach. It's a pleasant way to pass the time while waiting for my meal. Cabo San Lucas, also known simply as Cabo, is a resort city at the southern tip of the Baja California Peninsula, in the Mexican state of Baja California Sur. Rated as one of Mexico's top tourist destinations, Cabo San Lucas is known for its beaches, scuba diving locations, and marine life. The marina hums with energy, especially with the high demand for rides to nearby beaches. A quick search for Cabo San Lucas online will reveal its iconic image, the famous arch of Cabo San Lucas. This natural wonder is a must-see for anyone visiting the area. While some people come to enjoy the arch's geological formation and admire its majestic structure, others come to take photos and selfies to share with their social media friends. The selfies on the little phone's portrait screen do not give justice to the impressive arch that is a result of thousands of years of erosion. Geologically, the arch predates the sea. Around 30 million years ago, significant tectonic plate movements started to separate the world's second largest peninsula from mainland Mexico. The Sea of Cortez, a mere 5.3 million years old, is more recent compared to the arch, which has been shaped over millennia by wind and tidal forces. On the way back to the marina, some of the passengers have hopped out to go spend some time on the beaches. There are two beaches that have memorable names, Lover's Beach and Divorce Beach. We are back on land after this nice little visit. After a long walk, an aquatic spa seems to be the perfect solution. Now that everybody has arrived at the shop, we gather to get to know each other while waiting for our ride. As you may expect, we are not here on a shopping vacation or to tour this beautiful town. We arrive at another marina where our boat awaits. We are boarding the biggest vessel in the marina, the Nautilus Belle Amie. Custom built for divers, the Nautilus Belle Amie ship is the largest of the Nautilus Liveaboard's fleet. Our diving journey is about to take place along the Sea of Cortez, also known as the Gulf of California. This diving destination is a unique corner of the Pacific Ocean.
Welcome aboard.
The crew welcomes us and makes us feel comfortable in the lounge.
All right, so a little more patient.
I don't wanna.
It's okay. You have to. Okay. So,
The captain and the crew members begin the introductions.
my name is Alberto.
Alberto.
My friends call me Beto.
Beto.
Please call me Alberto.
We also go over some basic safety instructions before we are taken to our rooms.
Perfect. Nathan and Karim.
The boat has left the marina as we get settled. Some of us head to the deck to locate our charging stations. The Belle Amie clearly prioritizes the safety of its passengers and crew. Charging devices in your cabin is only allowed when you are present, and lithium-ion batteries are strictly prohibited from being charged in the rooms at any time. Instead, there are designated camera stations on the dive deck equipped with appropriate outlets for charging. It's been a long day. It's time to go get some rest before the real adventure begins. The captain has already laid out the plan with some improvisation depending on the weather. As we head to bed, the vessel makes its way up north to the Sea of Cortez. Around 7 million years ago, nature set the stage for a diver's paradise when a massive rift opened in the Earth's crust along with what is now the west coast of North America. By about 3 million years later, shifting fault lines, volcanic activity, and tectonic forces split off a sliver of peninsula. The Pacific Ocean rushed in, creating a marine gulf stretching roughly 700 miles and plunging to depths of nearly 10,000 feet. On our way up north and on the way back, we plan to stop at these several famous dive sites, many of which are remote and only accessible by boat. The day begins with the sun rising over the calm waters, setting the perfect stage for our diving adventure. There are some high winds all around, but the captain manages to hide the vessel in these beautiful creeks. Water of all shades of blue sits against an arid desert backdrop and an assortment of islands. As the crew starts setting up our stations on the deck, we all head to the dining area to get breakfast. During our trip, the chef and his assistant, the sous chef, work tirelessly to prepare a few meals per day for all of us. Lunch and dinner are well balanced and greatly prepared. Then, in between dives, the chef puts out snacks, cookies, fruits, and drinks. The kitchen staff provides exceptional service and delivers delicious meals throughout the trip. No one ever is going hungry. After the breakfast, we head to the lounge where we get to watch some videos and get to know the crew members.
Fantastic trip. Our goal is to give you the trip of a lifetime.
Part of the safety protocol, we practice safety drills as a group. One special item that is provided to each diver during this trip is the Nautilus Lifeline. It's a marine rescue GPS device that you hang on your BCD. If a diver gets lost, they could easily activate it. This device transmits the GPS position to boats up to 34 miles away.
Hello, mate.
The crew has a nice system to manage timing, space, and logistics for all of us. They have set up 4 groups each, of which will head to the dive at a separate time. The groups are color-coded to make it easy for everyone to remember. Each diver has a dedicated station. The grouping approach prevents from having a situation where everyone tries to gear up at the same time. The crew demonstrates how to safely get on the dinghy to head to the dive sites.
We want hands free, okay? Then don't step on the front of
The fun starts now. As we begin our first dive, the landscape is noticeably distinct from the typical reefs in the Florida Keys, the Caribbean, or the Bahamas. We navigate around massive boulders, rocky slopes, and sandy bottoms. At first glance, the area seems very rocky and quiet. As we approach the island, a vibrant marine ecosystem starts to come to life. Behind the boulders, countless schools of diverse fish fill the scene. The Sea of Cortez is, biologically, the most abundant body of water on Earth. Its nutrient-rich waters attract rare marine life in search of food. This vibrant ecosystem sustains over 900 species of fish and more than 2,000 species of marine invertebrates. As this dive comes to an end, we spend some time resting at 15 feet for our safety stop before we are picked up by our tender. Between the dives, refreshments, coffee, and snacks are available in the dining area. In October, daytime temperatures on deck climb into the high 80s. While waiting for our group's turn to get in the water, the refreshing air conditioning in the dining room and lounge offers a welcome reprieve from the heat. The second deck on the upper level serves as a briefing area. where the guide typically brings a board with illustrations of the dive site to explain the dive plan. As the ride gets closer, we take the opportunity to grab some group photos on the deck. The friendships and connections we make during these trips are priceless. Many of us will stay in touch long after this trip is over to share our common experience. Before every dive, the crew and the divers, each with their own tasks, choreographically dance around the diving stations to get ready. After a few rounds, it becomes a sort of routine, but everyone can't wait to get to the moment when the guide counts down to the rollback moment. During this adventure, we will have the chance to explore 2 wrecks. The Fang Ming was a Chinese fishing vessel that was seized by the authorities for trying to smuggle migrant workers into the U.S. On board were 88 men and 7 women kept in a confined space. On 18th November 1999, the 56-meter-long vessel was intentionally sunk to create an artificial reef. We stumble upon a napping green sea turtle who seems unfazed by our curiosity and admiration. A few moments later, the guide points out another big turtle swimming off the wreck. The visibility today is not that great, but we can see it glide away in the near horizon. The second wreck we dive is the C-54 Augustin Melgar. She was a retired minesweeper that was sunk in 2000. The ship was intentionally sunk to create an artificial reef and a unique diving attraction. It offers easy penetration routes as well as opportunities for advanced wreck and even technical training. More than 20 years later, the dive is an absolute delight, with vibrant coral growth and a thriving population of local fish. Visibility around the wreck is not the best. The C-54 spans 185 feet in length with a 33-foot beam. As we explore this incredible dive site, brimming with sights to discover, we believe it is one of the most underrated wrecks. The ship's fascinating history make this dive a priceless piece of maritime heritage. In short, the ship, initially called the USS Device AM-220, was built in 1944. She served as an escort and patrol vessel during World War II, operating across the Pacific. In Okinawa, she heroically rescued survivors from kamikaze attacks and assisted damaged ships. After sweeping mines in the Far East, she returned home in 1946, earning 3 battle stars for her service. In 2000, the ship was prepared for sinking, and she went down south of the Puerto Escondido area, within the Loreto Bay National Park. The black coral colonies are clearly covering most of the structure on this wreck. Schools of gray bar grunts can be seen darting in and out of the nooks and crannies. The colossal wreck, covered with growth, shows an abundance of life all around it. Schools of fish of all sizes inhabit the site. Whether you look through the big openings or in the small structure cracks, we are certain to see a living body occupying that space. Despite its name, a black coral is rarely black, and depending on the species, can be white, red, green, yellow, or brown. The corals derive their name from their black skeletons. Most of the ones we'll find during these dives look like green trees. Slowing down and looking carefully inside those green bushes will reveal a few juvenile fish hanging under those branches. Few species swimming around the wreck take shelter in the trees when confronted by an approaching diver. Making it all the way up to the top deck reveals bigger species and a few schools which call this wreck home. At different intervals, every group gathers by the ascent line to get ready to surface. The 2 wreck dives are deep dives, which call for a safety stop before exiting the water. At Isla Danzante, we start our dive in a site called the Honeymoon Beach, a secluded area in Loreto Bay National Park. The Loreto National Marine Park is 50 miles or 80 kilometers long and 20 miles or 32 kilometers wide, stretching across 510,000 acres, and was created by presidential decree in 1996. In 2005, the park was added to the United Nations list of protected World Heritage Sites in an effort to protect the more than 800 species of marine life that inhabit the Gulf of California. The northern half of Danzante Island features pristine, easy dive sites, perfect for divers of all levels. Here, underwater walls, massive boulders, rocky slopes, and sandy bottoms blend seamlessly, creating a haven for biodiversity. Divers expect to encounter moray eels, turtles, reef fish, and rays in abundance. During our dives, a few spotted some rays on the deep side, but the rest of us did not get the chance to see them. The southern part of the island, along with the more distant seamounts and pinnacles, offers advanced dives often accompanied by strong currents. These sites feature deep, steep pinnacles and walls, reaching significant depths. The habitat is ideal for black coral, sea fans, and gorgonians, which thrive in these waters. Nudibranchs are plentiful, and larger marine life, such as eagle rays and horn sharks, frequently make appearances along the dramatic deep walls. This is not the time of year when whale sharks are common. We won't have the opportunity to see one. The clear, warm waters surrounding the park host an incredible variety of vibrant marine life. While the temperatures are too warm for giant kelp and too cool for coral reefs, the area serves as a fascinating transition zone between tropical and temperate Eastern Pacific ecosystems. Although coral reefs are absent, the waters of Loreto National Marine Park are known for their sea fan heaven. Sponges, soft corals, gorgonians, which dominate the rocky underwater terrain, showcasing a stunning diversity of shapes and colors. Espiritu Santo Island has been a UNESCO World Natural Heritage Site since 2005 and a national park since 2007. It is the central island of the Espiritu Santo archipelago. This area is considered to be the second most biologically diverse marine environment in the world. It is home to 22 species of dolphin, 9 species of whale, 5 species of turtles, and a diverse array of marine life, including colorful fish, giant mantas, mobula rays, and whale sharks. Many species resemble those found on coral reefs worldwide, but others appear as temperate water species dressed in tropical finery. Meet the giant hawkfish. It's endemic to the Eastern Pacific Ocean. It is known in Mexico as Chino Mero. It is found along the southern Baja California region and the northern Sea of Cortez to Ecuador. During our dives, we are about to explore a variety of bottom profiles, each offering its own unique underwater landscape. These diverse formations are a testament to the island's ancient geological processes shaped over millennia. Steep walls plunge dramatically into the depths, pinnacles rise like underwater spires, and massive boulders lie scattered along the seabed. On the sites of Espiritu Santo El Bajito, the visibility has been great. This site is a large reef just off the southwestern side of Los Islotes. This is an extremely diverse site, which rises to within 20 feet of the surface, but drops to almost 90 feet where the reef hits sand bottom. The reef itself is marked by long, narrow alleys, or rock and coral that are large enough to swim through. The walls of these alleys are lined with all manners of marina flora, and a diverse fish population also finds protection in them as well. This dive site offers great opportunities for macro photography. The cracks host a wide range of critters ready to be captured on camera. In fact, we come across 2 divers who seem to set up measuring lines in the area to survey marine life. The guide explains that they conduct this activity several times a year to monitor the development and progress of marine life at this site. When we arrive, they seem to be done with the survey and are striking out. dive tells a story of the Earth's dynamic history, making every descent and exploration of both marine life and geological wonder. This next site is called El Candelero. It is a small island found in a cove on the northwest side of Isla Espiritu Santo. The expression, "a bad day of diving is better than a good day at work," reflects the passion and enthusiasm divers have for the underwater world. It suggests that even a dive that doesn't go as planned, perhaps due to poor visibility, lack of exciting marine life, or minor challenges, is still preferable to no diving at all. This next moment will be an exception to this rule. As we descend through the clear waters, an object on the sandy bottom catches our attention. Curiosity propels us closer, and soon we realize it's a fishing trap. Inside, a moray eel coils in the corner, its piercing eyes peering out, while a few triggerfish swim nervously in the confined space. The sight stirs a profound sense of conflict within me. On one hand, I recognize the fisherman's struggle, a livelihood perhaps reliant on this trap to provide for a family, a tradition tied to the rhythm of the sea. On the other, my heart aches for the creature imprisoned before me. As a diver, I've come to cherish the freedom and vibrancy of marine life, marveling at their beauty and energy as they move effortlessly through their underwater world. Seeing them caught and removed from their habitat feels deeply unsettling, a sharp contrast to the joy of diving alongside them. Not a single diver isn't feeling sad, nor isn't any one of us thinking of opening the cage and freeing these creatures. Sadly, it is not legal, nor is it safe to interfere with the situation in any case. We continue to explore the other sites and hope to erase the memory and get it replaced by all the other best moments we get to experience. On the deck, everyone is getting ready. crew members pass some refreshments to the divers, it must feel good, especially to the ones who have gotten in their wetsuits already. By now, introductions have been made, and the seeds of new friendships are beginning to blossom. Photographers and videographers are spoiled on this trip. We place our cameras by the big, dedicated camera rinse bin, and the dive masters bring them to us after we get on the tender. As the days progress, a remarkable camaraderie begins to develop between the divers and crew members, many of whom were strangers just a short time ago. Playful teasing becomes a common thread in their interactions. One of the impatiently awaited dives is on Las Animas Island. The dive site is characterized by a range of underwater terrain, including steep walls, sandy flats, and rocky outcroppings. Not 2 minutes into the dive, and we get a visit from a pup who definitely seems excited seeing us. The island's walls display a variety of marine species, but the hope of everyone diving here today is to get the chance to see one of the big marine creatures, the hammerhead shark. We know we need to look a bit deeper and farther than the wall. A research study attributes the decline in shark populations in the area to factors such as overfishing, inefficient fisheries management, shifts in prey availability, habitat degradation, and climate change. Here they are. We can barely see them on the first attempt, but on the second dive, we are able to get a bit closer, and there were a few dozen of them. It doesn't get any better than this. Diving alongside these magnificent, ancient creatures is a dream come true for many divers. But what makes this experience even more extraordinary is witnessing the return of a species once thought to be lost. We spent some time watching a few of them swim back and forth, but unfortunately, this is a deep dive that needs to be cut short. We head back up to end what would be one of the best dives on this trip. Early this morning, as the sun rose, a pink wash lay on Los Islotes Island. Los Islotes consists of 2 rocky islets, one of which features a natural arch. The area is teeming with vibrant life. Several birds are perched on the top of almost every rock. The morning golden sun shines on the walls of the island, waking up the local inhabitants. Flocks of herring gulls, blue-footed boobies, and brown pelicans fly around to probably hunt on the rocky shores. The birds are not the only residents on Los Islotes. A colony of over 500 California sea lions who come together to breed and socialize. The island displays a rich community with both seasoned adults and playful pups dotting the rocky shoreline. If you're visiting La Paz to dive with the sea lions on Los Islotes, be informed that the colony is closed for mating season each year from June 1st to August 31st. Back on the Belle Amie, after a nice breakfast, the crew is giving a briefing on the second deck. It's time to go visit our pups. During this trip, we will dive 3 or 4 sites where we encounter these playful, full of energy pups. Previously, on another site, Las Animas, the rock hosted a colony of sea lions as well. The pups joined us as soon as we entered the water. Look at this one, probably seeing his reflection in my camera, thinking that it's another pup challenging him. Sea lion colonies just hang out around a rock formation or small islands. Hundreds of sea lions relax in the sun, but when we arrive on site, they jump in the water to play or check us out. As a photographer, it takes some practice to grab a frame of these fast swimmers. We will spend some time watching them circling around, blowing bubbles, and showing us their teeth. Lobera is a different dive site on the other side of Los Islotes. This dive starts by passing between 2 big rocks before we arrive at a nice wall where another colony of sea lions lives. The space around this rock gives the pups room to drop from the surface all the way down deep, swimming among the divers, showing off their agile moves. There seems to be bigger groups once under the water compared to the other dive sites. the guide to a little cave. A few sea lions are hanging in the cave. They nicely make room for us to check the cave out. The Lobera dive site has offered us a true spectacle, offering a front row seat to the playful world of sea lions. They come alive with their graceful movements. Countless pups glide effortlessly around us, their sleek bodies darting and twirling in mesmerizing patterns. It's hard to decide whether to simply admire their graceful movements or feel a twinge of envy at their impeccable buoyancy control. On Los Islotes, as we settle close to the rocks, the juvenile sea lions start their dives from the top of the rocky outcrop. They drop into the depths like acrobats, spiraling down the wall before circling inquisitively around us. On the other dive sites, the pups kept a respectful distance. They didn't come in for a closer look or nibble on our gear. But here at Los Islotes, the curious gazes and synchronized movements are what make this dive site special. At some point, as I am hovering, I feel something pulling my fins. I thought, it's a dive buddy trying to get my attention. The pups are incredibly curious. They nibble on our fins, cameras, fingers, hoses, and suits, eager to investigate. While we strive to avoid interactions with wildlife to protect both ourselves and the animals, the moment the nibbling begins, these aquatic puppies transform the experience. Suddenly, all of us, grown adults, find ourselves caught up in a playful recess reminiscent of a lively elementary schoolyard. Some pups stop to pick up shells from the ocean floor. It almost feels like they're inviting us to join in, as if they're waiting for us to toss the shells for them to fetch, just like playful dogs on land. We will keep playing for a moment in this area. Some of us move a bit deeper to explore the narrow channel between the rocks. The entire space seems to be a familiar playground, and probably a hunting ground for these pups. Before each dive, during the briefing, we're reminded to enjoy the playful nature of the sea lion pups while keeping an eye out for the alpha male. He may venture into the water to check us out, and we're advised to steer clear of the rocks at the surface, which is his territory. If we get too close, the alpha male will create a line of bubbles as a warning, a clear boundary he doesn't want us to cross. On another dive, on the other side of Los Islotes, the colony of sea lions is as welcoming as the one we dove with this morning. This site is shallower by the rocks. The pups are all over the divers on this one too. This site has more than just the sea lions to enjoy. There's a rich marine life when we venture away from the shores. We end the dive late afternoon, not too long before the sunset. We'll be reminiscing about these dives for months, if not years. Allie, who I met on this trip, is an excellent videographer. She was part of the Belle Amie crew. Allie altruistically takes my camera for a walk and introduces us to some of the crew members.
Whoa, look at that sunset. How crazy is that? Whoa! I'm gonna take your camera for a walk. This is Jan.
Hello.
Hello. Hello. This is Karim's GoPro.
Very good.
We have Mario over here. Who else? Okay, I'm going to take you inside. This is the dining room. And then this is Poncho.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi. What are you cooking tonight?
We're having potatoes, vegetable, and roast chicken.
Woohoo! Smells good.
When it comes to the life on the Belle Amie, we have been spoiled as divers. The Nautilus Belle Amie is a 147-foot or 41-meter long, 33-foot wide Liveaboard dive ship that can accommodate up to 32 guests. It's a pretty big vessel with 4 decks. On the lower deck, there are 8 rooms, called staterooms, and there is another smaller, affordable triple occupancy stateroom with bunk beds. On the main deck, or second deck, we find a very large dive deck, a dining room, a bar inside the main salon, and 2 premium suites that have full-size king beds. On third deck, called wheelhouse deck, is where we hang our suits to dry and where we hold several of the briefings. There are 6 superior suites. The fourth and last deck is the sun deck. There are no rooms here, but plenty of seating for everyone, a minibar, and a hot tub. I, fortunately, have been randomly placed with another great person and diver in the room. As roommates, we are staying in one of the lower deck staterooms. There are 2 beds, plenty of charging outlets, a bathroom, and a shower. The luggage goes under the bed, but I find the bed overhead shelf useful to put the camera accessories and some clothes. There is a window one can open to let some sunlight in the room, but with such a busy schedule, we mainly come down to the room to shower, change, dry up, or sleep. One thing to mention is that the rooms are soundproof and the beds are comfortable. We have been getting good night's sleep. The sun is about to set. It's time to gear up for a night dive, the only one scheduled on our trip. While for many, 4 dives every day is more than enough, for some of us, a night dive is more than welcome. The experience of a night dive is always different. We gear up and hit the water. Since we are in an area where the sea lion colony lives, the pups are the first ones we meet when we turn on our dive lights. For the next few minutes, our lights reveal more life behind those boulders and within the cracks than what we have encountered during the day. Many species find shelter under the rocks while night predators come out to hunt. There were a few fun encounters with eels poking out of holes, where the giant hawkfish sleeping on a rock lets us get a close look at it, which is hard to do during the day as this fish is a bit shy. We keep exploring the site and meet this porcupine fish, who is either in a deep sleep state or on something. We see an eel basically on every single dive of the trip, but at night, they are more common around these rocks. Time to head back to the ship to shower and get some rest. According to UNESCO's Islands and Protected Areas of the Gulf of California webpage, the Sea of Cortez is renowned for its breathtaking natural beauty, featuring rugged islands with towering cliffs and sandy beaches that contrast vividly with the shimmering desert landscape and turquoise waters. It is home to 695 vascular plant species, more than any other marine or island property on the World Heritage List. The islands and islets are mostly of volcanic origin. There are numerous species of succulents, including some of the world's tallest cacti, exceeding 25 meters in height. There are many species and impressive numbers of resident and migratory birds, with some small islands hosting major proportions of the global population of Hermann's gulls, blue-footed booby, and black storm petrel. During this trip, we will have 2 guided boat tours around 2 islands. As the sun dips low on the horizon, the cliffs and rock formations around these islands transform into a masterpiece of tranquility and beauty.
So there is a birthing ground for heron on a small island that is just a little bit south, like 20 miles from here. Back into the mountain range. If you go in this mountain over there, you find a lot of cave painting.
Our guide shares fascinating historical, cultural, and geological insights about the area, enriching the experience. On another afternoon, we embark on a guided tour, riding out to a small island just off the coast of Los Islotes. On shore, dozens of California sea lions are hanging out, honking, grunting, barking, smelling terrible, and keeping a curious eye on us. The Sea of Cortez owes its incredible biodiversity to its geographic isolation and strong Pacific currents. Home to over 300 estuaries and wetlands, it provides vital breeding grounds and shelter for countless bird, reptile, and fish species. Its harsh desert climate has kept tourism development slow, preserving many pristine seascapes. When we turn behind the big rock and get close to where several sea lions rest, the breeze brings the strong smell from 10 yards away. The region is also a haven for marine megafauna, hosting over 40 sea lion rookeries with 30,000 individuals and serving as a habitat or migration route for multiple whale and dolphin species. As we watch the pups swim around the rock, someone notices something jumping out of the water hundreds of yards away at the horizon. It's a dolphin. We keep watching them do flips as the guide immediately turns the boat around, asks us to hold on tight, and heads full speed towards the action. These are the long-beaked common dolphins. These sociable and elegant creatures, with their dark gray and cream-colored bodies, often travel in pods numbering in the hundreds or even thousands. As our tender slices through the calm waters at full speed, different pods start racing alongside us with incredible agility. Their energy is infectious. Dolphins are among the most intelligent creatures on the planet. Given how crucial sleep is for recharging our minds and clearing out extraneous thoughts as humans, one wonders if dolphins need more than just a brief nap to rest their brains. Research shows that when dolphins and other cetaceans sleep, one half of their brain rests while the other remains alert, allowing them to surface for air. They spend about 8 hours a day in this state, either swimming slowly or floating near the surface with their blowholes exposed. Luckily, the dolphins we encountered were far from sleepy. We did not plan for such a great surprise. We haven't brought our masks and snorkels, but we can't resist the temptation to get in the water. Eager to hang around with these beautiful creatures, the chance to share the ocean with them was simply too irresistible. As soon as we enter, the dolphins swim closer, their curiosity evident in the way they circle around us. A few brave pups, probably from the rock we visited earlier, ventured out here to join the experience and came swimming with us. After a nice swim, we get back on board of the tender and invite our friends to race us again. Some of them jump and flip to add to our excitement. The group on the other tender are playfully joining us in this race. After all, we're all just mammals having some fun on the water. No one wants these moments to end, but it's time to head back to the vessel to get some rest and get ready for more adventure. These moments have been a surreal experience, one we know we'll be carrying with us forever. Our last dives are going to be in Lorena. Lorena dive site is a vibrant reef adorned with diverse underwater formations, including canyons, walls, and rocky structures. Depths here range from 15 to 80 feet, providing a stunning backdrop for divers of all levels. When we enter the water, I head to each buddy to have some fun snapping some scuba selfies with each one. For the camera fans out there, I usually use a GoPro for most videos. Reina, meaning the Queen, is particularly renowned for its striking rock formations, including a submarine canyon blanketed with colorful sponge colonies and teeming with invertebrate life. La Reina is widely regarded as one of the best dive sites in La Paz, especially between mid-June and mid-October, when migrating oceanic giant mantas often glide through the surrounding waters. Unfortunately, after 2 dives here, we won't be lucky enough to spot one of these majestic rays. Nevertheless, the reef offered plenty of wonders to make up for it. One of the highlights was the mesmerizing schools of fish forming large, coordinated bait balls. The schools move as one large, unified, living tornado. When approached, they change direction as one big group, move away from us, and end up parting momentarily to allow us to pass through before quickly regrouping in perfect harmony. Another standout feature was the vibrant reef, carpeting the canyons near the islet. As we ascended into shallower waters, sunlight illuminates the soft corals and the juvenile fish darting along the canyon tops, bringing the entire scene to life. Lena offers so much to explore. Those 2 dives felt far too short to fully appreciate its beauty. As we surfaced and were picked up by the tender, we reflected on the perfection of this final dive of the day and of the trip. With great visibility, gorgeous weather, and even the luxury of skipping wetsuits for some, we couldn't have asked for a better ending. Time to head to the boat to rinse our gear and dry it before we wrap up. After the last dive on Friday, the crew members work around the clock to clean up and stow the tenders before we head back south to the port. The crew plans some entertainment on our last evening together on the vessel. We gather in the lounge. Drinks are served in the minibar. The cruise starts with some reminders and nice invites to leave feedback to crew members. The evening goes on with some fun team games.
That's when I have fun too. Okay.
The entertainment climax moment of the evening is when the 2 ladies who won the games had a crew member dance for them. All great adventures must eventually come to an end. Along the way, we had the privilege of meeting fellow divers from diverse regions and varied walks of life, forging meaningful connections and creating cherished, lifelong memories of our time in the enchanting Sea of Cortez. With everyone packed and ready to go, the crew brings the tenders alongside to escort each group off the ship. as we wave our goodbyes and head back, but we deeply believe that this won't be our last time diving here. With vibrant marine life, stunning underwater landscapes, and diverse dive sites, the Sea of Cortez is a diver's paradise. Whether you're an experienced diver or new to exploring the underwater world, the sea has something magical waiting for each one. From encounters with sea lions and hammerhead sharks to photographing tiny critters, this destination offers unforgettable experiences that keep divers coming back. Exploring the different dive sites via the Liveaboard has made this adventure even more special, and it's definitely earned a spot on my must dive again list. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share it with your friends so they can learn about this wonderful diving destination, and most importantly, subscribe to this channel to get updates when I post my next dive trip video. Thanks for watching.